I'm Dr. Brad Hafford, archaeologist at the University of Pennsylvania. And it's the end of week 5 here at our excavations for the fall 2024 season at Nimrud. And this is another episode of my segment called Whose Shrine Is It Anyway? Now last week I said that we were pretty sure this was a shrine. And we've made a lot of progress in those 6 days. We dig 6 days a week. It's now Friday, the only day that we sort of take off. We work in the house though, so it's pretty much constant here. We only got a 7-week season this year. And you want to get as much done as you can while you're in country because we can't take anything away, so we've got to study everything here. Well, in this past week, we have confirmed the fact that this is a shrine. I'd already talked about the impressive doorway. It's rabbited, so it comes in a bit, and then there are the big inscribed slabs in the doorway. This already says important room when you go through a doorway like that. But now we're excavating the southern portion of the room, and we found another very large limestone slab, about 20 centimeters thick, and nearly 3 meters long. I'm sitting on this right now, right on the edge of this stone, and it's completely inscribed. It's raised up above where the floor was, and this would have been where the cult statue stood. So Assyrian shrines are bent access. It means you don't approach the god statue directly through the doorway. You have to come in and then turn. So the doorway is over there. You would turn and then face this direction, and there would be the god. Well, this is showing us that we definitely have a shrine. Not only do we have all of these artifacts that are high-end and specialized and ritual, we've also got this emplacement. We've now found a sort of column base. It's a carved circular stone that's in the floor that probably held a column that helped to seal off this area, or at least narrow it down so that you are approaching the statue and you probably feel more impressed maybe. The statue is raised up, very high ceiling, and those columns. We've got a lot of those hands of Ishtar, they call them. They were up near the ceiling holding the beams. It seems to have been a very impressive room. A very long one. It's more than 10 meters north to south. It's a little over 5 meters east to west. So pretty big, not quite as big as the more important gods. This was only a secondary deity, really. We know Nimrod was over there, but we still don't know exactly which god was here. We have read some of the text, most of it really, on the doorway, and it's just the same old sort of thing. Assur-Nasir-Pal is great. He's got all his titles there. This one we haven't read yet. We've only just uncovered it. We're not even complete. You can see that there's still soil on it behind me. So we're hoping that it will tell us more, and hopefully we'll find out pretty soon. I'll take you on a bit more of a tour and show you more of this shrine. Of course, we start off with the statue slab, the cult target, we might say. This is in the south of the room. It didn't seem to matter which direction you approached from because we have the Ishtar cella. You would go in to the north and turn to the west. We're not quite sure about Nimrod yet, but here you'd come in from the west and you'd turn to the south. You can see that there is a good deal of inscription here. It is closely written, so it's going to take a lot here. It's not in great shape, but it's not too bad. And we've got some sort of emplacement there as well, maybe where the statue stood, maybe it's a foundation deposit, we don't know yet. We have not cleared all of the walls either, so there's still, we know where the wall is, but we've got to clear away a lot of this material that was still in our bulk. We do have a wall over here, and this wall makes a turn into this alcove where the deity would have stood. The floor is largely destroyed. Now that's probably because when the Babylonians came in, they wrecked the place. They were searching, I think, for treasures beneath the floor, the foundation deposits, etc. And although we have that circular column base or whatever it is, we've covered it back over at the moment to help protect it. Eventually, once we've got all of the walls cleared and everything, we clean everything and we take lots of photographs. But right now, we're still in the process of excavation. Now we know that there were 2 other rooms that probably came off of this shrine. One of them is up here in the northeast. So we've got a room on the other side of this wall, and we dug it. Really, Mazahim Hussein dug part of it in 2001, right around there. We went in and cleared it again and found that there was a door leading into here. We haven't opened the door yet, but, well, it's right inside here. We've got a bit of the door jamb down there. We'll clear out that and open up that room some more. The north wall, pretty well preserved. There's a lot of burned plaster on it. But I think more interesting is what we've uncovered in this week, another room to the north. And we don't really have the doorway yet because we haven't quite cleared all of this western portion of the room. I'm standing in our wheelbarrow ramp, so we have to get access to pull soils out. And that is over the western portion of the room that we will clear soon. But what's so interesting about this room is that it's so well preserved. We expanded our trench to find the other side of the north wall to the shrine room, room 51, and we've now uncovered room 54. The walls here are very heavily burned and really preserved quite high. So here's the top of the preserved wall, and the surface is only 20 centimeters above that. So we've got some 2.5 meters of preserved wall, and this is one of the most burned contexts I have ever seen. There is charcoal everywhere, and you can see samples of it on the wall here that we've pulled out, and then both of these buckets are filled with charcoal. Now, in this room, within that burned context, so we can see that there's still areas here, they're very heavily burned. That's all roof fall, so the roof beams burned and it collapsed. Pretty clear evidence this was at least 2 stories tall, could have been 3. That all burned and collapsed, and from that 2nd or 3rd story, we're getting tablets. So they were stored up above, and they're falling in right along this east wall. So all through here, we've come up with 7 or 8 tablets so far, and we think there's going to be some more. So we thought, is this an archive room sitting off of the main shrine? It's possible, but then just 2 days ago maybe, and yesterday, we found this slab of limestone, much like the one that I showed in the other room, very thick. It's broken. You can see that this half here is gone. Well, the Babylonians probably smashed it, and we do have evidence of other parts of it still in the soil here. So these are almost certainly that broken portion that got moved away. So why would they smash it? Well, it was inscribed, but we think now that it may also have been a cult location. Another kind of statue there, and this might be maybe the consort deity, so maybe we have a male and female pair. We aren't certain, because when we first dug this, we followed the wall, this wall, and we got to the corner. It moved around, and I thought, okay, it's going to keep going. But no, once again, it rabbited. So you can see how it goes in this way, and then it comes back out, and then it curves in again and goes that way. Well, these rabbits usually indicate important doors, and yet this is a small room, maybe an archive room, and we knew there was plaster on the wall on the other side. So if it was a doorway, it had to have been blocked in antiquity. They sealed it up for some reason. But now that we have found this, and it's quite high up in the fill, we no longer think it's a door. We think it's actually a kind of niche that held another cult statue. Well, whatever's going on here, we have a very fascinating set of rooms that are associated with this shrine. The tablets and the stones should tell us a lot more. I think the tablets are probably the business of that temple, and they may tell us about the offerings that were brought in, and hopefully, again, the god to whom they were being brought. Well, I'll try to do one more update on this shrine next week, and I hope you'll join me then on Artifactually Speaking.